ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिग्गस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, verse number 32. So we are reading the ascent of Dhruva Maharaj to Dhruvaloka. He was living in the Himalayas, Badrikashram, in the company of the great sages, and was absorbed in devotion, meditation on the Lord. And then one day he saw that a plane landed, and then there were two associates of the Lord, Nanda and Sunanda, who spoke to him and informed him that Lord wants that he comes with them to the country. So he got ready, took bath, chanted his mantra, paid obeisances to the assembled sages there, and then he entered into the plane by putting his foot on the hand of death personified. But when he was entering, then a thought came in his mind, and that is being described here. Sacha swarlokam arokshan Sunitim jananim dhruvaha anvasamradagam hitva dinam yasetri vishtapam. When he was just about to get inside, then he remembered his mother, and he thought that how can I go by leaving her behind, that poor lady. So this was the thought came in his mind. And when he was thinking like this, then the associates of the Lord, they understood this. So it is said, iti vyavasitam tasya vyavasaya surottamo darshya masatur devi puroyanena gacchatim. So when he was thinking like this, then the associates of the Lords, Nanda and Sunanda, they were able to read his mind. And they showed him that there was another plane going in front and said that his mother is already going in the other plane. So this was also another confirmation. Many times we read that when someone becomes a devotee, then his forefathers also get liberated. So just as we read that a devotee does not fear death, and we saw an example of that, and it's also shown how the mother was already going. So see, that means she also went in the same body. So agam sarvagamyam tirvishtukam vishnupadam. There are two words which are used here for Vaikuntha. One is Swarloka, another is Trivishtukam. And generally these two words, they are used for heaven. So of course he did not go to heaven, he went to Vaikuntha Loka. So then there is a adjective which is used for them, which is agamyam, means place which cannot be approached by others. Therefore this is not this heaven which we understand. This is the abode of the Lord, which is also sometimes called as Swargaloka. Tatra tatra prasansadbhi pathi vaimanikaihi surai avikiryamano dadrishay pasmai kramso grihan. So when he was passing through, then on the way, all the suras, the devatas, demigods, from the different places, they came out and they threw flowers at him and they praised him. And then gradually he crossed the planets. So there are different levels of heavens. There is not only just one heaven. There are various heavenly planets. So he was going from one to another, and as he was passing, then these devatas, they were praising him. Usually devatas, they try to put also obstacle, but now this was not the time. Why even get a bad name? They know that he is going anyway, so might as well praise it. So when someone is victorious, then everyone praises that person. If someone fails, then there are many people who are ready to criticize and give advice. They say, I already told him, he did not listen to me. So now because Dhruva is successful, there is no question of devatas being envious of him or anything. They are all praising him. So they all came out and they are throwing flowers at him. Trilokim devayanena swativrajya muni napi parastadya dhruvgatir vishnu padam athabhyagavat. So he crossed the Trilokis, this Bhur, Bhuva, Swadhijana, this is called Triloki. This is within the realm of karma, means people who perform sacrifices, karma kanda activities, they cannot go beyond this. And beyond this Bhur, Bhuva, Swadhijana, there is Maharloka, Janloka, Taploka, these other planets. So he crossed Triloki by the plane. And he also crossed the Munis, meaning the 7 sages, Muni Napi. And then he reached Dhruvagati, the place which is fixed. And that is the place of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Padam Abhyagat. That's where he arrived. finally. So Munin, or the sages here means the Saptarishi, the seven sages, this Urshamaya. Tata parastat yad Vishnu padam tadabhigat. So beyond that is the abode of Dhruva, which is the place of Lord Vishnu. He arrived there. And Dhruva Gatir Yasya Sai. So that place is called Dhruva Gati, or which is a permanent place. Yad bhrajamanam saruchaiva sarvato lokastrayo hi anu vibhrajante te yanna vrajanjantu suyena nugraham vrajanti bhadrani charanti yenisham. So that place is being described here. He says that Yad bhrajamanam saruchaiva sarvato lokastrayo hi anu vibhrajante. It is only by the brilliance of that planet that all other planets have their brilliance. It means that planet is the supreme planet. It is independent and permanent. And yenna vrajan jantusu yenugraham anugraham. And those people who are not compassionate on others can never reach this place. It is not for them. But those who engage in auspicious acts day and night, only such people they go there. Yad bhrajamanam manu yad paschat yasya rucha loka vibhrajante. So it is only by the glow of that planet that other planets have the glow. And the non-devotees obviously cannot reach there. This is the meaning that those who are not compassionate on others cannot go there. So who are the people who go there? This is being described in the next verse. Shantaha samdrishaha shuddhaha sarvabhutanuranjanaha yanti ansa chutpadam achyut priya bandhavaha. So those people who are peaceful, and only a devotee can be peaceful. Mukti mukti siddhi kami sakali ashant Krishna Bhakti Niskam Ataiva Shanti. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that all these people who have desires, whether desire for enjoyment or for liberation or for perfection, some paranormal powers, siddhis, they are all disturbed. Because desire is the root cause of all disturbance. All disturbance in the mind come because we desire. So asahi paramam dukkham nairasyam paramam sukham. This desire is the root cause of all misery. And not having any desire, that is happiness. So not having any desire is possible only if we desire bhakti. Otherwise, you will desire something. You cannot live without desire. So desire for bhakti is not considered as a desire because this is desire for someone else. This is desire for God. All other things are considered as desire because they are for oneself. Because then you have the prithak mati, then buddhi, separatist mentality. One considers oneself separate from God, and then one desires. In bhakti, one does not consider oneself as separate from God, therefore desire for devotion is not a desire, because it is not separate from God's desire. So that is the only desire which one should cultivate or keep in one's heart. All other desires that should be sacrificed. Then only there can be peace. So Shanta therefore here means devotees. So Sammanistha Prokta. And Uddhava asked Krishna in 11th Canto, what is peace? So he said, those who are devoted to me, they have peace. Otherwise there is, those who have devotion, that is the peace, otherwise there is no peace. And then Samdrisha, then obviously you have equal vision because you see the Lord, everything in relationship with the Lord. And pure Because all these desires are gone and there is purity. Sarva Bhutanu. And such a person works for the welfare of everyone. So devotee's presence itself is a welfare for him. Even if he is not doing anything, he is doing welfare. Just his existence. Because he has achieved something which is so precious that his presence itself in this world is valuable. So Sarva Bhutanuranjana, Yanti and Sa Achyutpadam. So these are the people who attain the abode of the Lord, not anyone else. So Achyut Priya Bandhava, they are very dear to the Lord, and therefore only such people can be, because the Lord does not want anyone else to enter his planet and create a disturbance there for him. But if people have some other desires, then they will be quarreling, because there will be no unity, there will be no cooperation, because everybody will have their own axe to grind. But if everybody has only one desire, that is bhakti or devotion to God, then they can cooperate, because they all have the same goal. Cooperation is possible only when the goal is one. That's why a team can play together, because they only have one goal, to put the ball inside the ball. That's what is called goal. If the player start having their own ego that I want to hit the ball or I want to get the name, then they cannot cooperate. So they also have to surrender their individual desires. And if they cannot, then there will be no cooperation. So cooperation is only possible when there is one goal, then only there is unity. And that one goal which is possible for all, bhakti. Otherwise it can never be one. Even if one has mukti, then mukti is for each one of person oneself. It is not common. And you have desire for your mukti, I have desire for my mukti. So therefore, in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the formula of Sankirtan. Because Kali means fighting, which means everybody has their own individual desires. So how to bring them together? Have one goal, the bhakti. So therefore only Sankirtan can function in Kali, nothing else. Because in Kali everybody is so much divided that even husband and wife are not together. They only live together, but their hearts are not together. Previously at least husband and wife, they were together. That's why when they got married, then wife was considered as half, better half, or whichever half. But she became half of the man. So they were together, and they used to be like that. That's why they could commit this sati. Because if the one half is dead, the other half cannot live. She also dies. But now that is not possible. Now wife has her plan, husband has another plan. So children, they have their plan. Previously big families could live together under one head. Now it is not possible. So there is no unity. So the only thing which can bring unity is Sankirtan. Nothing else. So therefore, Yajanti hi soyadasa. That intelligent people, they worship the Lord by Sankirtan. So this is the place, and it is called Achyut Padam because nobody falls down from there. The place is called Achyut Padam. That once you go there, then there is no question. Fall down for what? Where do you want to go after that? There is nothing to achieve, nothing more to attain. Whatever one can achieve is already achieved. So then who wants to leave this place? And then Lord himself is very affectionate to his devotees. So this is where Dhruva went. इति उत्तानपदः पुत्रो ध्रुव कृष्णापरायणः अभूतत्रयाणां लोकानां चूडामणिर्वामलः. So in this way, Dhruva, the son of Uttanpad, who was Krishna Parayan, who was fully dedicated to Krishna, so he became like the crest jewel, like a chudamani, like he put some jewel on the head of all the planets. Abhutrayanam Lokanam, of all the three planetary systems, he was the topmost. So here he is described as the son of Uttanpad, but he did not think of his father when he was living. He thought of his mother. You don't know where was his father, because father has taken sannyas 36,000 years ago. So maybe he was already gone. So he remembered only his mother. And this also shows that after leaving his kingdom, when he went to Himalayas, he did not stay there very long, because his mother was still alive. So mother also lived a long life, but father is not known. So anyway, Dhruva, he was the topmost, he was living in the highest planet. And that's what is being described here. Gambhira vego animisham jyotisham chakramahitam yasmin bharti kauravya medhyani vargavan ganaha. So he says that all these planetary systems, they are going around it continuously, just like the bulls, they go around the pole. So I think it came earlier also. It was explained like that before also. Previously, now we have machine to thresh the grains. Previously there were no machines. So you have to put all this plant grains, wheat plant, all spread around and the pole, and you tie the bulls together in their neck and they go around. They walk on it. And because of their hoofs, this thing gets crushed. That's how the grain came out. Then the bulls were also passing urine and cow dung on top of it. In our childhood we used to do that.
Natural static.
Yes. So they will be walking and passing urine. Yellow. Everything turns yellow. Even the grain.
Okay.
So this was old system. Even Bhagavatam was written, it's coming since then. Now it has changed. So in future it will be difficult to understand what is this media. Because now in the villages you cannot see this anywhere. So now in summertime, this was the time when we used to have school holidays for 1 month. This is what we did. Because after we cut the wheat crop, and then May, June, go around to bulls.
We still do this in our farm.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we don't have electricity.
Yeah, they do it.
So this is what is described here. So that is the natural grain. And so the pole is representative of Dhruva planet. The Dhruva planet is the fixed, and the bulls, they are the other planetary system, they walk around us. So this is being described here. Animisam Jagradeva Kalarupam Gambhirdevo Gavam Ganeva Mahimanam Vilokyasya Narado Bhagavan Rishihi Atodyam Vitudam Slokan Satrayagayat Prachetasam. Says that seeing the glory of Dhruva Maharaj, the great sage Narada, he sang 3 slokas in the sacrifice of Prachetas while playing on his veena in glorification of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva was so famous that even his guru was glorifying him in the sacrifice. So previously when these sacrifices were performed, then there were also assembly of the sages, and sacrifice was not whole day. Sacrifice was done, say, in the morning for a few hours, and then in the evening or in the afternoon all the people, they will gather together and there will be some talk on the Puranas and Itihasas. That's how we know that this Bhagavatam was recited. Sonaka was performing sacrifice for 12 years, Saptram. And Mahabharata was also recited like that, where Parikshit's son Janmejaya was performing this sacrifice to kill the snakes. And then Vasampayana Rishi, he recited Mahabharata. So this was usual custom in those days, that you sacrifice and then assemble, and then we talk about different topics. So about the previous sages, their history, dynasty, how they did, what they did. So Narada was also known for that because he will sing with his veena. He was good at singing and he will recite slokas. So that's why you see all these Puranas, they are all in poetry form, because they will be sung with music in the assembly. People will listen and then there will be discussions about it. So that's how you see they are always in the form of question and answer. If somebody is asking a question and then he's saying, oh, I heard this there, and he said like this, the same question was asked. So this is how these Puranas were actually written or composed. So this Suta is a particular class of people. Suta is like his family name, Suta Goswami. So otherwise his name is Ugrasrava. His father's name is Romharsana. Suta is the dynasty in which they have come. And and their job was to recite Puranas. This was their job. So they will go from place to place. Even now there are people like that in the villages. That's what they do, tell stories. So Atodyam Veenam Vitudan, while playing on Veena, he sang the following 3 verses. So those verses are being described here. Narada Uvacha, Narada said, Nunam sumite patidevatayas tapah prabhavasya sutasya tam gatim drishtva bhupayanam vedavadino nevadigantum prabhavanti kim napaha. He said that indeed the son of Suniti, who was very devoted to her husband, his son Dhruva Maharaj, he attained a very high place by the influence of his austerity. He says that Drishtva Abhyupayanapi Vedavadino Naivadigantam, that those who are the followers of the Vedas, means follower of all these sacrifices, they are even unable to understand the means which he used. And what to speak of the kings, King Rupa. So Dhruv Maharaj, obviously he was following the path of bhakti. He was not a Vedavadi. Krishna says, Vedavad rata partha nanyata stiti vadini. Yam nam pushpitam vasam pravadanti hamanishna. Those Vedavad rata means those try to follow the fruitive activities described in the Vedas. That you perform this sacrifice, you will get this, you perform this. So those people who follow that path, they are called Vedavadis. And they are very expert in performing these rituals, ceremonies. And they consider that this is the be-all and end-all of life and the ultimate meaning of the Vedas. That's why Krishna says, Vedavada rata partha nanyat asti iti vadina. They say that there is nothing else in the Vedas but this. So these are the people who are called Mimamsakas, Purva Mimamsakas, or Karma Mimamsakas. So they cannot understand bhakti. It is not possible for them to understand. Because bhakti is beyond their. Actually, one thinks according to their mind, the concept they have, bhakti will look very strange. We are singing, doing this puja, and from where is this coming? They are so convinced that Veda is the ultimate authority and Veda is talking about performing yajnas. And how can just chanting the name can give you something? And that also more than doing sacrifice. Like this Gopal Chapal story described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was arguing with Haridas Thakur. And how is it possible that just by chanting you can gain something more than doing sacrifice? He is a Vedavadi. Vedavadi cannot imagine that just by, because you have to do such complicated ceremonies and then you get little result. So how is it just by vibrating your tongue you get more result? How is it possible? You just ringing bell in the temple. So therefore he said that Vedavadino naiva adigantim prabhavanti. That these Vedavadis, they cannot understand. They are limited. Their brain is closed. It's like those people who believe that ultimate reality is impersonal, has no form. They just cannot understand that God can have form. It's just impossible for them. How can God have form? They even pray to God, but don't give a chance to God that He can have form. They are so much against God having form, and it is beyond their ability to grasp this idea. So it is very great boon that one can have faith in bhakti. It's very rare. That's why Krishna says, Mam tu vedani kasyani, nobody knows me. Samatma sudurlabha, such a great soul is very rare. And Manusyanam Sahasrasu, out of thousands and thousands of people. All these statements are not false, because there are many people they cannot grasp there are even many people who perform bhakti, but they think that after doing bhakti you have to get mukti. There are people like that. They cannot understand that bhakti can be the ultimate goal, or God ultimately can have a form. Even when they are performing bhakti, they think that this is only a means to attain the end, which is mukti. So that's why he says that these people cannot even understand what Dhruva did and how he attained this position. And then what to speak of the kings who are following these Vedavadis? They have no chance. So obviously Narada is speaking this with an intention. He is in the assembly of the Vedavadis, because he is when the sacrifice was being performed. Slokam Satraya Gayata Prachetasam. Satra means sacrifice which runs for 12 years. So Prachetas did this, and that's why he sang this. Tapaha prabhavrupasya sutasya tam prasiddhim gatim phalam. So he said that he was so influential, the son of Suniti, that he attained this position that seeing the result, they cannot understand how he got it. When they see that Dhruva attained this planet, the Vedvadis, they cannot understand which sacrifice he did, because he was also doing sacrifices. We have never read any sacrifice like this in the Vedas. What did he do? Did he do Somyagya and then go to this planet, or Aswamedh Yagya? What did he do? So there is a statement that if you do 1000 Aswamedh Yagya, horse sacrifice, and you pay obeisances to Krishna once, then you get more benefit than doing 1000 Aswamedh Yagya. Vedvadi's hand will blow if you tell this thing. And then the verse says, why it is more? It says that one who bows down to Krishna once, he does not take birth again, but one who is doing Aswamedh Yagya has to take birth again, because he only goes to heaven. Krishna pranamina eti punarjanma. Because paying obeisances means you are devotee, then you won't take birth again. So that's why it is more. So he says, Gatim phalam drishtvapi tasya abhyupayam antarang sadhanani api adagantum na pravanti. That they cannot understand that what actually is the real means for this. What did he do? Cannot understand. Yadi evam tepi na tarhi kimut taram nirpatyartha. Then if they are not able to understand, then what to speak of the kings who are just following the instruction of these Vedavadis. They surely can never understand. So that's why Dhruva remembered his mother, because his mother gave him good advice. Of course, his grandfather was a devotee Manu. So then he further says, Ya pancha varsho gurudara vaka sharir bhinnena yato hridena duyata vanam madadesha karojitam prabhum jigaya tadbhakta gunai parajitam. And he further speaks about Dhruva Maharaj, that when he was just 5 years old and his heart was pierced by the arrows in the form of the speech of his stepmother, and he was going with a heavy heart. Then I gave him instructions, and by my instructions he was able to conquer over the Lord, who is called Ajita, because Lord is defeated by the character of his devotees. Jigaya. Remember this word Jigaya? From Ji, Jai, Dhatu. So Ji, Ji, A, J, Ji, A, and then Ga, A and I. Means he conquered in the past, little ago. So Narada is explaining that how he attained this. What was the methodology? So he says that he followed his instruction. Narada is the teacher, and Dhruva Maharaj followed the instruction of Narada very tenaciously, without any deviation or speculation. And by following his instruction, he conquered Ajita. Ajita means who cannot be conquered. So how can you conquer somebody whose name is Ajita and you are saying he cannot be conquered? How is that he was able to do something which is impossible? So he says that Lord is called Ajita, unconquerable, but he is conquered by the good qualities of the devotees. Called Bhakta Gunai Parajita. He conquers everyone. Nobody can defeat him. But he gets defeated by his own devotees. He gets conquered, he gets controlled by devotees. And therefore then he is no more Ajita. So this is the greatness of bhakti. And this is the means which he is now telling to these Vedavadis there. That Bhakta Gunai Parajitam. That this sacrifice cannot control him. What controls him is devotion. And he was controlled by the devotion of the. Then the last sloka he speaks. Yakshatra bandho bhuvi tasyadhirudha manvarurukshedapi varshapugaihi shatapancha varsho yadaho bhiralpaihi prasadya vaikuntama vapa tadbadam. So he said that other people, they may desire to attain this position, Arurukshedapi. But Dhruva Maharaj, he attained this position in 5 or 6, when he was just about 5 years old, and pleased the Lord. But is there other Kshatriya on this earth who can attain this place even by hundreds of years of tapasya? Varsapugai arurukshedapi tasya arudham. So by this he is trying to explain that how Dhruva attained something so quick, and this is a very amazing thing. That others, they cannot even think of it actually. He says Aruruksha means even the desire they may not get. So Kshatrabandhu, Kshatriyottamopi tamapeksha Kshatriyadamo yatasya rudham padamani paschat arudhanichet. Say that if other Kshatriyas, who are obviously inferior to Dhruva, if they desire to attain this place of Dhruva Maharaj, is it possible that they can attain this for following the process for many years? Yadi asmat shadva panchva varshani vayansi yasya iti vaya shabdasya vrittau antarbhava. So he says that he was able to attain this in just 4 or 5 years of age. That is his greatness. Abhi alpai prasadya vaikuntama avapatat. He pleased the Lord in a very short time. It was just 6 months, as we read, not even 1 year. So this is the end of description of Dhruva Maharaj's story. We started in the last few chapters. So Maitreya Vacha, Maitreya said, Etatte lihitam sarvam yat prishto miha tvaya dhruvasya uddam yasya charitam sammatam satam. Maitreya said that what you have asked me, I have explained to you all that. And the wonderful character of Dhruva Maharaj, which is approved and praised by the saintly people. Now there's many slokas which are describing the benefit of hearing this story of Dhruva Maharaj, so that you don't feel that you are wasting your time. There are 2 types of things people desire, material and spiritual. So one can get both benefits if one hears this. So it says Dhanyam Yasasyam Ayushyam Punyam Swastyanam Mahat Swargyam Dhavyam Somanasyam Prasasyam Madamarshanam. So these are the things which people can attain. First of all, what people want is money. Yes?
Yes.
Very important. So therefore, first thing says Dhanyam. That if you hear this, then you will get wealth. Right? So
Thank you.
it's worth time. You'll get money. And some people want fame, want to become popular. Money is not enough. Once you have money, then you want to be famous. You'll also become famous. Yes. And fame is not enough if you don't live long enough. So then Ayushyam, long life. And then you also want some punya, some piety, so that next life you take good birth also. And here again Dhruva story. So punyam. And swastyanam. Other auspicious things like I get a son, I get wife, these types of desires, they also fulfilled. So all these desires, they are fulfilled by hearing this. Swargyam, go to heaven. Dravyam, you get a fixed place. And Somanasyam, you have a good heart. So your mind gets purified. And Prasasyam Agamarshanam. Agamarshan means that it clears all your sins. Aga means sin and Marshan means clean. So all these benefits you get by hearing the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhanadi kamnavatam dhanyam ityadi dravyam dhrusthan prapkam sumanaso deva tadarma tepi etat srotum bhaktam charanti. So he is describing that those who have desire for wealth etc. they get it. You can also go to the planet of Dhruva by hearing the story and can also become a deva. So therefore they also hear the story of. So all this you can get. And mahatvam ichchatam tirtham shrotum siladayo gunaha yatra tejas tadichunam manu yatra manasvinam. So if you want to have greatness in the society, then you can also get this. This is the cause. And by hearing this you get good qualities, good character. Shrotu Siladaguna. And if you want prowess, that you can subdue others, then that also you can get. And if you want to get honor from honorable people, then also you can get that. All this is possible by hearing this. And prayataha kirtayet pratah samvayed janmanam sayam cha punya slokasya dhruvasya charitam mahat. So with great effort one should sing this character of Dhruva Maharaj in the morning and in the evening in the assembly of learned people with controlled mind. So Sayam cha punya slokasya dhruvasya charitam mahat. This great story of Dhruva Maharaj. And what else? Paurnamasyam sinivalyam dvadasyam shravano athava vinakshaye vyatipate sankrame arpidine piva. And it specifically you read this story on the full moon day or in the Chaturdasi 14th, and Dwadasi 12th, and in the Shravana Nakshatra, some constellation, or sometimes one Tithi is lost on that day, or Gatipath, another combination of nakshatras, or Sankrami, the day sun is moving from one constellation to another, that's called Sankranti, or on Sunday, the sun, the day of sun. So these are very auspicious days for reading the story of Dhruva. And Shravyet Shraddadhananam Tirthapada Naichans Tatra Atmana Atmanam Santushta iti Siddhati. And one should recite this story in the assembly of those who are faithful, not to the faithless people. Shraddadhananam. And those who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, Tirthapada Padashraya. And one should not recite it while desiring some money, some profit, some salary. Nations, tatra atmana atmana santushta. But one should recite it just feeling satisfied in itself. So then this will make one perfect. Svedadhananamiti Dvitiyartha Shashti Naichan Tadvedanam Kimapi Dravyam Natvatilyanam. So not desiring to get something as a result of reciting this Tatra Hetu Atmanam Prati Atmanaiva Santushta. But just being satisfied means as an act of devotion. Because devotion is the result of itself and it is self-satisfying. Does not need some extra boon. That is the greatness of bhakti. Tatra Shravane Matkathyamana Krishna Katha Bhakta Shraddhya Shunoti iti eva matvedana. He said, just think, one should think that a devotee is listening Krishna Katha, and this is my great fortune, that I am getting this opportunity to recite this Katha. This itself is my profit. Manyamana ityataiva siddhim prapnoti. If one does like this, then one attains perfection. Jnanam agyata tattvaya yodadyata satpathe mritam kripalo deenanathasya devatasya anubrunate. So one who gives knowledge of this to people who do not know the truth, who do not know the process of bhakti, agyat tattva. So one who gives this knowledge of devotion to such people, then he is compassionate, and on such compassionate people, the devatas, they also give their blessings, they shower their blessings on you. So that means this is a very pleasing act, not only to devotees, to the Lord, but even devas are pleased by this. So this is the benefit. Idam maya te vihitam kurudvaha dhruvasya vikhyata vishuddha karmana hitvarvaka kridana kani maturviham cha vishnum sharanam yojadama. So now he concludes. Mitra said that, O Vidura, in this way I have described to you the famous story of Dhruva Maharaj, which is very purifying and whose activities were very pure. Says that giving up playing with the toys as a child, he left the house of his mother and took shelter of Lord Vishnu. So in other words, we should follow the example of Dhruva Maharaj, because Dhruva Maharaj was a child and he did not play with the toys, he engaged in devotional service. We are grown up people, but we may be psychologically child and may be still playing with the toys Because children play with toy car and toy plane, toy house. And now we may be actually having car, house and plane, but these are also toys. They are the toys created by Maya through the scientists. So we should devote our life giving up playing with these toys and take shelter of Vishnu. So this is the end of this chapter. Jiva nistarakam kimapi jnanam shravatayo mahafalam kimudro charitam itya. He says to give knowledge to faithful people how to make one's life perfect. This is very pleasing to the Lord. And that is a great fruit. That itself is a great achievement for the person who gives the knowledge. And then what to speak of reciting the story of Dhruvanara, which is so instructive and wonderful. So this is end of the 12th chapter, 4th canto.
I have a question about the compassion of Buddha. Because he was about to go to the Bhagavatam, and his thought went to the mother, no? So then we know that the mind has to be fixed on the Lord, not without deviation, and especially this is not that is under the control of a particular person, is more grace. So then now suddenly he has this looks like an independent thought basically.
And devotees also give grace. That's what it's saying. When you recite this story, that is also grace on ignorant people. So he also thought of her because she is actually was also the first teacher of Dhruva.
Yeah.
She is the one who advised him to take shelter of the Lord.
And this is a true example of compassion basically.
Compassion and also remembering because she is the one who instructed him. It's not just compassion. She is not ungrateful.
That Sankirtan is the only process in Kali Yuga. And talk to us that Sankirtan can also refer to bhakti.
Yeah, it means bhakti.
So why is Sankirtan used specifically? If it has
Because bhakti
broader-
is not easy to execute, and Sankirtan, especially in the beginning stage, is very easy to perform, and you can experience the effect. And also it engages all your senses. It's very absorbing. And it's also very pleasing if it is done properly to the Lord. So it has all these qualities. Because the name of the Lord is very powerful. And it does not have many other restrictions. If you want to do puja, many rules you have to follow, which people in Kali Yuga find difficult. So that's why Sankirtan is prescribed. People like singing.
But it doesn't restrict that process alone necessarily. Sankirtan only.
Well, it is indicative of other limbs of devotion. Therefore, Yajna Sankirtana Praya Yajanti. Praya means generally.
It's Sankirtan Praya, it says?
Praya means usually, generally. Which means that it's not saying that only.
Right.
This fact that Dhruva got the result in so short time, very, very short time. So this indicates that he already made some advancement and some spiritual growth and something is right.
When it happens in short time only.
So Sankirtan also is, if you hear the songs, right? It's in the same category.
Yes.
If you don't sing with your tongue, but you hear some headphone and you hear
Also
some
hear.
nice bhajan.
Yes, Ravanam Kirtanam.
And about these devas, that in his case they were giving respect to him. And they were showering flowers whilst he was going through their regions. But sometimes devas can give an obstacle also to these devotees who are trying to reach.
They can also put obstacles, but what is the use of putting obstacle now? What obstacle they can put now?
He didn't have any power.
These will be associates of Lord Vishnu. Try to put obstacle now will also be a big offense. They are not stupid. They are also devotees.
So I was wondering if they are also devotees, why they should put.
Just like devotees are not envious, you will not see. Same thing. They are also devotees like that. They are not Siddha Bhaktas. They also have desires. And if you have any other desire, then you act improperly.